Here we go, part 2. Further testimony really won't be necessary. It's because the defendant lost badly. Mr. Willie, you testified to the court about the gameplay between the victim and the defendant. Duh. The game began with 3,500 points and chip for each man. House chips come in two sides, small and large. The one who was winning, was the victim. For the last hand, defendant played with all chips on table and lose. The moment lost was decided, the defendant grabbed bottle from table and... Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. How many times have I heard these words? I've done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and no regret what I've done. Common tale, but true. He thinks the judge watched too many other court movies. Or that he's a judge. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Hold it! Are those the usual starting points? Were there any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, the total would be, exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Hold it! Are these chips in the photo and the chips that were used? All the chips that were used? Of course. Shoot these chips. Should I press harder? Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips? Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop, not a... Thanks. Now I pressed her, I better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars? Or rubles, even? Yet, as I've been saying before, it was game, not gambling. My paths were capitalist to understand. 2 types of chips, 100 points chip and 1,000 point chip. It's not money, Justice? Sir? Don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I have it added to a testimony myself. Well, the defense wanted the witness to add a testimony. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. She knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you will be so kind. Your Honor. Alright, so let's see. If I remember correctly with the chip photo. Let me examine this real quick. Yeah. Objection! You sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the pictures is enough to tell you who won, if you're not kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's reveal what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1, 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do yourself. You're not in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly. Justice? Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. It's an impossible way to explain this contradiction. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. With all the chips and all of these shown in the photograph, there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips are worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Show me the photograph of the chips again. Now, 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may be different. That changes nothing. Indeed. They did have the larger number of chips still. Oh. Exactly. The small chips are worth 1,000 points and the large chips are 100. Let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points. The defendant had 4,100. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Yeah! Now, Mr. O'Reilly, must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Order. It appears our defendant had lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. But now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness's testimony. Excuse me? What is it, Miss O'Reilly? I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, See what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, well, do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheats in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. Great, just great. First we had the lying, now we're cheating. Well, this case suddenly has taken a turn. Fully interesting. Witness, will you please testify to the court? Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. In the last hand, both men had full house. Therefore, of each card deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. Next moment, game becomes argument. Defender's trick was exposed. I took bottle in hand. Poor Miss Smith. Mr. Willie, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I saw a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect Dustin Scroobius' tactics. Mr. Gaffin? What's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career. What is this, some kind of secret co-op pokering? Justice? You know the term one pair, two pair, and three of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards of the same number make a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair, and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. It's not very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, look at full houses. You forget, there's an easy way to make a full house. You call undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defendant may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, that makes it one question. Still, Wright lost that hand. I've heard of a professional climber losing when they cheat. Hold it! How hard is it to make a full house Just how hard is it to make a full house anyways? It is quite hard, It's making a pair and a three of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult, to be sure. You can take my word as to poke ahead of courtroom number 3. Very difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay, full house, hard. There's not a questioning, a waste of time. Hold it! 4 of each card, you say? There's 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that this number 4 comes from the number of seasons. Huh, you don't say. Oh, did you know that the cards are numbered 1 through 13? All the cards in a deck, you get 364. Yeah. You don't say. Is that why they're short? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus, you have a perfect representation of the year, all in the deck of cards. Huh, you don't say. I'm going to be in this courtroom for a year, but it keeps going like this. Hold it! How is it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. How else should I say? A hand? Your Honor, something can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well. The witness was added as detail to her testimony. Yeah, just make it show. 1, 2, 3, that's fine. Objection! Objection! It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... Look, the piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's for the chips, is it not? Justice? Perhaps you want to explain your point in the way the judge can comprehend. In other words, use a finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. Alright, so he's supposed to do it like this. Take that! Miss O'Reilly, in your testimony you made the following claim. Miss Smith's hand had 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Well, I mean, the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's his 5th ace? I see cheating away that's going on right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please! It is true, I have seen it, the 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She must be lying if she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You like to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store us for the trial ahead. Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes? The player's hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? These cards don't prove cheating or what's going on, nothing well. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? The victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. Defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. When examining evidence, to be sure to view it from all sides and all angles. Try using the dials in the evidence field. Blah, 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 blah. It's tutorial time. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. Eh? Yeah? That's impossible. But I put that card in White's hand. Ah! What was that? That's so really? No, net. I mean, they said $1 I have. Yana. Mr. Gavin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Oh. Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss O'Reilly? She's the cheater. Professional, Major. No! Order. Focus, Justice. Trying to take the advantage of a mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. Ergo, Miss O'Reilly conspired not to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing this witness, Miss O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accused the witness, Miss O'Reilly, of murder. Mr. Payne, here's your witness, Miss O'Reilly. It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice, Your Honor, it seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. Prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Mr. White, you can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. White? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. White has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club had different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If you use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used 2 different colors and they still got mixed up. You used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you're using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the other color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. They could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah. Thanks to the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh, Even the backs of the cards are a different color. If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh, quite true. Now, meaning that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight onto crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? It's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and the murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Old Girl Lily. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course, and, well, it doesn't seem that like it could have been Old Girl Lily either. What are you suggesting? It's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And the card to stop doing the game would be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun this all is. Fun? How confusing! I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the cards wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss O'Reilly, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. That someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colored cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All I knew was the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True. Not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. That's more than a possibility. There was someone else there the night of the scene of the crime. What? I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial is proceeded on one central assumption, and they made that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. Probably is that you chose to steal the information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. Just when we claimed there was another person at the scene of a crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, sorry. Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I only ask that you leave the defendant to your defense in the future. Otherwise, you cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to this chamber, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you don't think about the victim's disappearing locket. Yeah, you can take a look at it. Just picture my daughter in there. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest. But it is odd that you managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Wanna know something? There's only one game where you can deal bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Huh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law? Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Huh? Try as they might conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. The body language becomes a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for example, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, that's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on you to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will. Soon. Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know, you haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I had my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? And you'll do my coins of steel with that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Alright, we're ending on a to be continued this time. If you like this video, don't like, subscribe, and don't comment. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.